hold on to your vinyl. It's ProgHat.
Hello everyone, welcome back. Thanks for being here. Thank you for clicking on this video. I want to thank all the new subscribers to the channel. I appreciate the support and the love and the comments below too. So on this video, drop me a comment. Well, I have this little series from time to time that I do call ProgHat Spotlights. And I am spotlighting one of the finest albums of the late 1970s. So just picture this. I'm a young guy, hardly maybe $5 or $7 in cash, going up to the Walmart store that just had opened in a little Texas town I grew up in, and digging through the clearance, the phasing out of 8-tracks. And I remember this very well. I remember being excited about finding 2 of the 8-tracks. One of them was Yes, Going for the One. And the other one is the album that I'm going to spotlight. And that is Eddie Money's debut album from 1977 was the other 8-track. Got home, cracked the plastic, stuck it in my 8-track player, and man, blown away by this album. I love this album cover. You talk about a rock and roll pose. There it is right there, folks. Eddie Money. Like the back cover. This is such a great record. You know, I pulled it out the other day. It was the Father's Day, and I saw it sticking out of one of my record shelves up behind me here. And I said, you know, I haven't listened to that in a while. So I said, let me go down memory lane, which I love. So I love going down memory lane. And so I put on that record, and there it was. I was back there again buying that 8-track. Listening. I love every song on that album. And right on that same day, I posted one of my little shorts, you know, the ones where you're pulling out a record from your record shelf. And surprised, it got a lot of views and at least 10 or 11 comments, really nice, respectful comments. Things from like, rest in peace, Eddie Money, people missing him, people calling him a rock legend. There is not another Eddie Money, and that is most for sure, definitely for sure. So let me go ahead and get into this. It's you know, you might want to call it a review, but I'm just going to share why I think this is a strong album. One thing that I want to also begin with is that with Eddie Money, he was a kind of artist that I knew that every record he was going to make I wasn't going to be disappointed, and it was going to be rock and roll and blues. And I've always been a fan of his singing style, that gravelly singing and heartfelt with some emotion coming out. It's just, his vocal is I always thought it was incredible. Some other things that I learned about him that I've forgotten was that he could play other instruments that he does on this album. Keyboards, harmonica, saxophone. I was just watching today a performance he did back in San Francisco in 1975, playing the saxophone, and it was a killer live show. It's free on YouTube. Now, he, from what I understand, was from New York, Long Island, and he moved out towards California. Went to Berkeley, University of California. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's even right, but he went and almost graduated. I think he was like a few credits, but he wanted to sing rock and roll. That was his passion, and he believed in that. And I can tell that he believed that he was a good artist by this album. So This is one of those albums too that this music on here or any album that you love, it becomes part of your life. It becomes what I call like the soundtrack of your life. You can always go to it and you still have those same emotions. You're not ever tired of hearing these songs. This album is strong because it's melodic, it's uplifting, it's passionate, and it has some really, really great ballads like Save a Little Room in Your Heart for Me. That's the price of getting this record right here. It is well. Another thing that I learned about Eddie Money, that one of his big mementors was, because it says on the back Bill Graham. So Bill Graham took him and signed him to what was called Wolfgang Productions. And there's just a lot of famous people on here. You know, he was also in a band called the Rockets. And a lot of great musicians play on this record that I didn't really realize, like guitar player Jimmy Lyon and the drummer Greg, I forget his last name. Those guys went on to become part of the Great Ken Band, or were in the Great Ken Band. And I can see that because as you hear the catchy guitar riffs on this song by Jimmy Lyon, great guitarist, you hear that on the Great Ken Band and you say, there's that genius that makes these catchy guitar riffs. A couple of the members too over from the Steve Miller Band are on this record. So Eddie Money got the best to play on this record. He wrote most of this album. Of course, you know, there's always going to be arranging with other musicians or other folks on this record. But yeah, you have Lonnie Turner, Gary Mullenbear, something like that, and saxophone playing also from Tom Scott, top-notch saxophone player. So I love the music. This album has been a very key instrumental part of my life, of my music journey. I can always go back to this album and just like escape the heartaches, the pain, the troubles, and just kick back and get me a couple of tickets to paradise, right? So the album was produced by Bruce Bontic, which was a producer of the famous album L.A. Woman. I didn't know that. But Baby Hold On to Me, let me talk about some of the songs on this record. That catchy guitar riff is just something, once you hear it, it becomes ear candy. You just love it. I don't know how many times I played that song so much that day. Of course, I drove Mrs. ProgHat a little bit crazy, but she loves Eddie Money too. So, and then the song just intensifies as the more and more it progresses with the music. 2 Tickets to Paradise, what a song. I mean, just that escape. You want to break away from reality and just get lost in the music. Heck, you know when that song comes on the radio, I'm guilty of it. It's a song that I crank up. I'm sure we all reach over to the dial and crank up 2 Tickets to Paradise. 2 rock classics that always are going to be played on classic rock. You're going to hear this. In fact, one of these, I think it's the song Baby Hold On to Me. They use it in one of the Grand Theft Auto games. I thought that was interesting. But 2 Tickets to Paradise, and you get him doing the classic Smokey Robinson and the Miracle song, You Really Got a Hold on Me. And he really makes that song his own. And Don't Worry, Jealousy, Gambling Man, Got to Get Another Girl. I mean, these are classics. This album, every song is just good rock and roll. What else are there? Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's just an album that if you don't have in a collection, maybe ask yourself why you might not have it on the collection. I don't know. I guess maybe when we get down to purging, we purge Eddie Money. This one never has left the stack for me, but it's always going to be a record that I go to, you know, and it's going to take me back and take me on another journey to, you know, I don't know where, but a good place, so I can come back a different person, a little bit more settled down. Another thing I want to say is that song, Two Tickets to Paradise, that classic rock song, and the words of the great Ken Band, they don't write them like that. They don't write them like that anymore. That's true. They don't write songs like these anymore. Eddie Money, great artist. Rest in peace. A true rock legend, and will always be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with me and in heaven. Folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you're an Eddie Money fan or your favorite song in the comments below. Take care.